just thought that, I would, at times I thought it was because I was getting older. I thought it was because I just wasn't, and it could be I just wasn't attracted to him.
Right.
That's what it was at the time. I just was not in the mood to have sex with, those particular women. Welcome to the Aweman podcast, where we're having conversations through the lenses of 3 different perspectives.
All that shit.
I am the Tony Davis.
Michael Edger, the brand.
And I'm Wayne, #Aweman.
So, first and foremost, shout out to you for checking out the Aweman podcast, where we are going to invite discussion, not just us conversing with ourselves.
Yeah,
we want you to join the conversation. So please, if you are interested in developing your relationships, if you want to develop, your manhood for some average guys, right? Who are aspiring for greatness and all, then make sure you check out more of these clips, and make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any other new content.
And we definitely want to hear from you. Sorry about that, bro.
Good.
We definitely want to hear from you, so make sure you do comment and share this. And let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Call me now for your free reading.
Boy.
So, let's say I got a scenario for you guys. We're going to do another reaction video. You are in a relationship with a woman, and she is unwilling. It's not that she can't. She's unwilling to have sex with you. And it's been 2 months, right? Of no sex. I want you to think about that when we do our reaction video, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today.
When your partner no longer wants to have sex with you. Well, a recent article in newmiddleclassdad.com says the partners have to acknowledge that one of them no longer gets his or her basic needs satisfied within the relationship, and something has changed. So what do you think? If you're in a sexless relationship, and I'm not talking about due to medical reasons, and feel like your needs aren't being met, do you have the right to get it elsewhere?
So this comes off a topic that me and Adrian had.
Yes.
And we paused it. Or as Adrian said, we paused it. We paused.
All right.
We had to pause it too.
Yeah. This is kind of touchy for me because this has happened in my relationships. I've had a couple of relationships where it's happened.
Okay. Well, can you break down like what happened to get to sexless?
It wasn't sexless. It was just not the same frequency.
Sure. Okay.
And I wasn't in the mood to have sex, and it's
on your side.
On my side.
Okay.
And it sucks because now I understand it better now.
Right.
And it was all because I wasn't happy within self.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so when it came out that, and I didn't know, I just thought that I would, at times I thought it was because I was getting older. I thought it was because I just wasn't, and it could be I just wasn't attracted to him.
Right.
That's what it was at the time. I just was not in the mood to have sex with, those particular women. And then I went and found it elsewhere. So I stepped out of my relationships.
So you were still gonna get it?
Yeah. I mean, eventually, I look for an excuse to make, and then looking to go try to feel something else, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I've had a similar instance on both sides.
Don't get in trouble, homie.
I'm not. And I'm not gonna incriminate myself on this
Don't
platform.
say my name, homie.
Say my name, homie. To Tony's point, it speaks exactly to that. Sometimes it's more mentally driven than physically driven. And it's funny because even with the young lady speaking on the clip, she said
she's not young. None of them women are young.
Well, I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt. That woman on the clip, she made mention to saying that via this article that she saw, sexual activity and intimacy are the drivers in relationships. The only caveat that I have for that is intimacy and sex sometimes are not synonymous.
Right.
So to Tony's point again, to revisit that, sometimes you can miss intimacy just in missing your camaraderie with your partner.
Definitely.
Saying, you know what, I don't know what the vibe is off. I'm not turned on by you. I don't feel the same way that you feel because something else is hindering our relationship. Whether it be an argument or something that is consistently being brought up over and over again in the conversation that turns into an argument.
Right.
So intimacy for me is more so an adaptation of how you all come together and congregate on a personal and spiritual level. And then, of course, naturally, that's a catalyst into sex.
Right.
Yeah, it leads
Because
into it.
I feel comfortable with you to
Right.
do anything with you and everything with you. You understand me?
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. That's a good one.
The only other thing that I was gonna make mention of is we often take it to like the most dire circumstances or situations, right? When I'm often thinking about just like life and not having time, right? If you have children, that
was a
is
scenario.
no. I'm saying
Let's be fair to the scenario.
no. I'm saying even in that conversation, she was like in a sexless marriage.
Yeah.
They didn't provide any context there. So everybody immediately moves to I'm simply unattracted to you, and that can be a catalyst because of lack of time to get ready, because you have
what you're saying.
children,
Yeah.
because you are working crazy hours.
Trying to get right. Maybe
Yeah,
yeah. So
you
it's
just
like,
got all these other factors that are going to be in that space, because a lot of times when you're talking to the average couple, right, making $70,000-$80,000 a year collectively, may have to work 2 jobs in this modern day society
Certainly.
in order to make ends meet, and they're both working 2 jobs,
Yeah.
right, and let's say they have children, so their children have needs, and you don't even have time to decompress, right, which actually puts you in a good state for you to then be able to be intimate with your partner just on some how was your day type issue.
Exactly.
Right? I think that there's also that dynamic there that we gloss over so very, very quickly. Like, oh, he's cheating on me because that. Nah, like it started out that we both did not have time to just see how to do a temp check.
That's why you got to put your relationship in the forefront, man.
Right.
Like you got to check in and you got to be committed to the relationship.
100%.
That's just my belief.
Yeah.
I've tried it the other way many, many, many times,
Right.
and I've been left heartbroken, embarrassed, and ashamed as a man.
Right.
It's not cool. However, I do want to touch on the real guts of this is, do you or does she have the right to step out and get it elsewhere?
Right. Well, let's see.
Paused it because I really was interested to hear your take, and it was basically, it was actually me. I have a friend who's going through a situation right now, and she found her husband had pictures of a nude woman who he used to be dating way back before her, sent to him. And she asked me, what do I do? What do I do? And of course, if you guys know me after years of this show, I would be out. I don't care if it's Jeezy, I don't care, I'd be out, right? But then she said, you know what? We have 3 kids, and I want to try to work this out with him. So that said, when I brought the story to Adrian, you had a different view.
Yeah.
And when you found out that he did have indeed pictures of cheating, and I told you that they haven't had sex.
In
They
a
have not had
very
sex in
long
5 years.
time.
In 5 years.
5 years.
Wow.
5 years.
Exactly, Sonia.
Wow.
So
I
play it.
understood, my perspective was I understood the perspective of this woman and why.
You ain't had sex in 5 years, and all this dude got is some new pictures.
I got upset. Listen,
I got upset when
Listen.
she was like, because you know me, I don't care if it's pictures, I would leave them.
I'm with her though. I think she should. I think there are a lot of things that you got to be out because it doesn't get easier. If you're not committed to the relationship, but if you are, you don't even get there. The reality is simple, man. I went like 2 weeks without sex. That was a problem.
Right.
Like 2 weeks. The chicks was mad. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get it
Right.
because I set the precedent.
Right.
5
years.
We're not going 30 days.
And all you had,
We're not going to
prison sentence.
On that count, as to count on that.
right.
That's a murder prison.
Going right.
But that's my thing.
You
Is
did
like,
manslaughter?
Like, yeah.
and he only had picked. Now, granted, like it would have been a conversation.
I mean, how'd
and
you
it
get
would-
him?
No, that's what I'm saying. It would have been a conversation, but if he is not having intercourse with the woman, like now, let's be clear, that needs to be cut off immediately. Otherwise, then I'm not mad if she's like, "Yo, I'm leaving," because what you've done is you set a precedent.
That's why you keep
that-
the old pictures, man.
Even then, like if
It
you
might have been old.
If they're old pictures, then that's not cheating.
It's not cheating?
That's yeah.
What do you consider that?
No, that's
a
just
sexual impropriety?
No, that's just porn.
It's just
It's just
But
porn
you-
from the porn star I know.
that you know.
That's not cheating.
I
If it's
know
new
her.
pictures, understand.
I know her.
Mad. Old pictures, we got a problem.
Baby, I
Now,
know
hey,
her.
reverse it.
I know her mama. I know her kids.
New pictures,
I think that's
we
worse.
got a problem.
See,
Old pictures, nah.
I think so. Yes, I agree with Tony on that side. I think that the other thing that I have an issue with is, and we'll have to continue to watch the video to see if they providing context as to why they weren't having sex. If it's just pictures, like, and you know, if it was on the other side, and I know men are gonna appreciate this differently, we're gonna interact or deal with that differently. First thing that I'm gonna be concerned about is did he have sex with you, right? She's like, no, he just been sending me, D pics. Cool,
No.
not cool. Cool. But I'm saying in my mind, I'd be like, okay, cool.
Right.
This is one of those double standards. I'm sorry. Well, I don't know what you.
But you would be out.
Somebody got to go.
See, I wouldn't be out. I'd check that.
Would you be okay and be like, yo, just go have fun while I finish my projects? You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like, what you gonna say?
I'm probably been in there over the desk right there, like, oh, this what you wanted, type situation. Because if it's me that's holding out, like, we gonna fix the situation.
So
quick
there's
as in
no
her.
way that you can just let her go play.
Nah. Well, I'm not gonna. The man that I am right now, that's a very difficult thing.
I consider it.
With her stepping, just to okay.
I'd consider it. Doesn't mean that I say yes. I
Right.
would consider it, especially knowing that I'm not with the 2-week thing, but I'm
Right.
just saying. I mean,
In the grand scheme of
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
yes.
I mean only because
5 years, Jesus.
yeah, 5 months is a long time.
Right.
I would consider it as well, only because from a married perspective, see the root cause of things are really what you want to point
That's
at.
right.
It's not all this the pics and the flirtation, like that's surface shit.
Right.
It had to build up to get there.
Right,
You
right.
want to find out where the shit. Where did we get the crack in the concrete?
Right.
So we can kind of fix the foundation and keep building on top, right?
Right.
So if you so worried about the surface, and that's why I think Michelangelo was kind of like, man, just you out if the pic. I mean, like some people will be like, to her point, she was like, yeah, I'm out. But my thing is, what's the long term goal? Like
Right.
if pictures are gonna break you,
Then y'all weren't ever together.
this ain't gonna work anyway.
We got to be able to go harder than that. And
Right.
don't get me wrong.
And that's for both sides of the spectrum,
Right.
folks.
Well, let's see what else they
what they got.
I actually felt it was very mature of her to have forgiveness for him because she also understood the role that she possibly played in this happening. Me and Jeannie, before I got married, had a great conversation about the conversations that you have to have with your spouse prior to marrying them and bring up all the craziest circumstances
Yep.
and situations that you could ever imagine and see how you'd work them out. Obviously, those changes evolve and so on and so on.
Right.
But for us and in my marriage, sex is a really important part of that.
Is the person
Intimacy-
allowed to cheat if you're not giving them
No,
sex in a
there's
relationship?
no.
If-
They change usually for women, not for most men. Most men of how we are going to address the situation, if we told you past a certain age, past 22 to 25, we have a really good, we start to have a better understanding of ourselves.
Yeah.
So at 30, if you cheated on me, to
Except for
Tone's
Tony
point,
Davis.
well, I'm saying even to your point, like if you cheated, I'm gonna be out like with pictures. But you also are, the expectation then is if you catch a chick with some pictures, you are gonna be out. It may be temporary. Like she may be able to win you back, but you are going to leave. Like there's
If drawing a line in the sand.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to draw some sort of line. Women move differently, right?
Right.
That's one of the things that I've noticed within my own. You'll hear it out. Women and men, we move differently. Mm-hmm. So it's a guy cheats. We all heard it. A guy can step out, and it's not an emotional connection. A woman steps out, it's an emotional connection usually.
Yeah.
I've experienced that being the recipient of that.
Sure.
Actually, I've been both sides of that.
Right.
So, I mean,
Experience.
that is true. So it's not like I'm looking back, I'm not really proud of it, but I do have the experience to
Right.
know that when a woman was with me and
Right.
she had somebody else, or when I found out that my woman had stepped out with someone else, it was because she wasn't. She felt that she wasn't getting something that she should have gotten at home.
right.
So it's different. So if she gets a DP or the gray sweatpants, it's different from
A dude ain't sending no grace, but we always full throttle. Be like, I didn't even ask for this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
chicks be like, I didn't even ask for this.
Where is this?
Mad,
I said
mad
I gave you
ungroomed, just Mandingo out this joint. Just
I gave you my
Welcome to
number
the
5
jungle.
minutes ago. How did I?
just save it in my save it under my name under my picture.
I don't mind, but no, to both of you guys' point, I really think it's about how you're culminating your relationship from start to finish. So if the anticipation of the end goal is to stay together because you want to be with this person, then even what she was talking about when she was having conversations with her husband, her now husband, about laying everything out at the beginning. Now, some people, they can't handle that, right?
That probably ain't
But
the chick for you.
if you can, after all of that, and you still say, okay, let's go forward, I think that's a great foundational point for you to start, because it's like both of y'all are starting fresh. If you're both being candid and honest.
I think that's cool. I've tried that too.
Yeah.
Where I did lay it out.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah, let's lay it out," and I did. And
Yeah.
She didn't. Yeah.
Did she lay it out as well though?
Nah.
That's why.
Yeah, that's both people. Both
Well,
parties.
she was different. I mean, she didn't have the thoughts that I had.
No, I'm saying both parties have to, like, when you lay out
Relinquish
something,
that.
she should be able to say, I find this problematic, I find this problematic, I find this problematic. And then she should be able to lay out her stuff, and you should be able to say, I find this problematic,
And then we go at it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and then you figure out
But that
whether or
didn't
not...
happen.
Nah, it came out after a while. You wanted to sleep with such and so. But that was our rule, man. If we found somebody attractive, we would let them know. I did. And she was just like, oh.
Well, and-
What? Wait, just context. When you say when you find some, is it like y'all out to eat? And you like,
Nah, if you are thinking about somebody, even if you're out to eat and you're constantly thinking about that woman, it's been
got
2
it.
weeks, and you're like, hey man, I'm thinking about this chick.
got it.
You need to let the other person know.
So was that only if you had access and opportunity?
I think I was asked.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think it was, yeah.
I want to smash the hell out of
Yeah,
such
it was,
and such.
it was the
Like,
accent,
you-
or if it was affecting your relationship sexually.
Sure.
So
Okay.
if you were like, man, I'm still thinking about Shorty on the on the belt line
Yeah.
because I'm not excited about you because I've been thinking about her on the belt line.
Right.
But she had asked me a question about somebody that from sort of my past
that you had access to. Okay, fair
that I
enough.
had access to, but I never did anything with.
Okay. Well, we're going to hit this.
You were on it.
For us and in my marriage, sex is a really important part of that.
Is the person
Intimacy-
allowed to cheat if you're not giving
No,
them sex in a
there's
relationship?
no-
But
no.
finish that statement. Yes or no?
I believe yes if there's a certain expectation that is required that you
Yes, they're allowed to cheat if you're not getting sex.
I believe if you
Pass
are
the baton. Pass the baton.
No, it's
Come
not
on.
that way.
Come on.
Let me explain.
Pass
Let
it.
me explain. I don't think you have the right to cheat. I think I think cheating is a very cowardly act. I think you have the right to tell somebody, listen, if that's not what we're doing, I have needs, so I'm going to do something.
To me, that's not cheating.
It is, even if the person has if your partner has an objection to that, even if you tell them, they're still cheating.
Well, I'm saying let's fix it. Like when you ask me, what would you do? I'm gonna bring you over the table real quick, or I'm gonna lay you out on the and if she's then like, well, that's not how I wanted it. That was what you said was the issue. We not having sex, so we had sex. Now the enlightened version of me, I hope would say, all right, listen, I want you to go home. I'm gonna set the tone. No pun intended. I'm gonna set the pace and situation so that you know
I'll
when.
just be in the corner.
That's sick.
So nasty.
I'll be in the corner licking my lips like, hey girl.
So nasty. So if
Make like I ain't even here.
Oh.
so if
Good luck when you guys having sex the next time.
I'm listening.
It's horrible.
Hey man, if you see me
You
in the
will
corner,
you will
man,
not be in my mind. I'm saying like though in that space.
Right.
So I'm saying in that space though, like I think the bigger conversation there is, listen, are you going to fulfill this need? Because this is a need. It's an innate need, right? So are you gonna fulfill this need? No, I need to have this need met by somebody else.
Are you prepared to walk?
Yes. If that's the point. If it's been 5 years,
No, that's excessive.
like if it's
That
been
is excessive.
if it's been a year and a half or 2 years and there's no, because hear me
How
out,
long are you prepared to wait, bro?
bro. I was celibate for a year and a
That's
half.
different.
No, I'm saying I was celibate for
That's
a year.
different.
What I'm saying is I have the capacity to then hold out.
I understood what you said
Right.
the first 2 times. What I'm telling you now is the same thing. That's different from
for
that.
you though.
No. For context, I think what he's saying is that in your celibacy, you weren't in a relationship.
Right.
Right.
There's
Right. These people are engaged in a relationship.
No, they're married. Let's take it all the way to the extreme. What I'm
Right.
saying is I know that I also have the capacity to, for me, end up throwing myself into work, end up throwing myself into something else where I'm not worried about like stepping out.
Got it.
Because I'm seeking to do something else to occupy my time. So at that point, I may be thriving at work. Like, yo, he killing the game because I've got all this pent up energy that I cannot expel. I'm saying, and I may be able to make that.
hangers.
I may be able to make that last for a year and a half of just compartmentalizing. I'm not saying it's healthy and I'm not saying it's good, but for the loyalty of my relationship, I may be more inclined to do that over me just stepping out or me just saying, look, I'm just going to leave. Especially if like kids and stuff are involved. Like this is going to be a very different dynamic. And also, I'm fickle first. Once I'm in, it takes me mad time to then say, all right, I'm out.
That's true. But we're talking about the expectation of, hey, I want it and it's not happening versus, like we said, the lady said, there's no ailments.
Right.
It's not that you could, it's
Right.
just the fact that now you're kind of having to. And that's cool because the way I took it is you're prepping to be with this person long term.
Right.
And
Sure.
just, something may happen. It could be psychological. It could be anything.
Right.
But 5 years?
5 years, no, I'm out. I
Yeah.
would have been out.
And
5 months, we're gonna have a problem.
even in the
Right.
even in the exchange that they had on the clip that we were just watching, you could kind of tell how each side kind of has their own perspective on
Yeah.
what they would do. So we want to get you guys' perspective on what you would do. 5 years is a long time. 5 months is a long time, and for you, 5 days might be a long
5
time.
hours.
Right.
So just let us know, man.
Yeah.
LCS, like, comment, subscribe. We want your perspective for our conversation. So that way you can start more conversations like this.
And also tell us in the comments, we won't tell nobody. Has this ever happened to you?
Yeah.
And how long has it been where you were like, yo, I'm out?
I don't like how you said that. He was like, and how long has it been? Bonafide.
This has been an All Man podcast. I am the Tony Davis.
Michael Andrew the brand.
And I'm Wayne, #all men.
We out this bit.
Yep.